All classes privately own their own small amount of property, in mostly isolation. Rather than the majority of private property being owned by a particular class, all classes privately own their own small amount of property, in mostly isolation. Mostly isolation. Mostly isolation. Mostly isolation.
Isolation. Let's see isolation. But very small. Is in the center.
Mostly isolation. Rather than the majority of private property being owned by a particular class, rather than the majority of private
That was weird. I was confused as to why I couldn't see my layer controls, but I had them disabled. So,
in mostly isolation. Rather than the majority of private property being owned by a particular class, all classes privately owned their own small amount of property, in mostly isolation. Rather than the majority...
Yeah, we can mark number 20 as done. So we can move on to number 21. And number 22 is going to be a big daunting task.
This relation was best summarized by Marx in Capital.
Let's bring in the Marx boy. got any questions, let me know.
This relation was best summarized by Marx in Capital. This relation was best summarized by Marx in Capital. This relation was best summarized
Okay, so makes sense. Makes sense why I have no views. It's just very boring. I'm sorry. Like, I apologize to anyone watching. This is very boring. This is incredibly boring.
by Marx in Capital. This relation was best summarized by Marx in Capital.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is now we have the big quote to do on screen. This is a 40-second thing. We have to make a quote that's 40 seconds long. Oh, hello, I'm so sorry, I did not see the chat. Hello, hello, Ralph J, hello, Terry. Hello. I will have the chat pop out here so I can see it better. So let me pop it out here. Okay, so So, hello, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, so what I'm currently doing is I have a 40-second clip that is like a narration. Yeah, the music is a bop. It's Insane in the Rain's Pokemon Jazz covers, so I thought like it'd be a good backing track to this.
This mode of production, feudalism,
Yeah, this is gonna be a quote, so this can literally just be, I can just have Marx here, make him large, fade in. Fade Marx in, so
this mode of production.
behind the quote. So Marx will be here behind the quote. I actually need Marx to last longer than he is in his things, so Okay. Just there we go, and then just select all of these, and we're gonna just do this again. Music stop. There we go. Music's back. So the Marx is going to be back here. I'm just going to pre-compose Marx. Call him Fading Marx. Fading Marx. So that I can resize him. There we go. So, there we go, we save this. So...
This mode of production, feudalism, presupposes...
let's go get this quote. This mode of production, brackets feudalism. So how do I get this to convey? I'm gonna take feudalism as its own thing. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna make them both coming from the left.
This mode of production, feudalism...
Okay, so it's a little early. Hi, OnlyBro555, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my boring editing stream, but thank you for coming.
This mode of production, feudalism, presupposes...
I was gonna have the quote roll by on screen, Muke. Hey Muke, by the way, the idea was I was gonna have the quote roll by on screen, but I was debating when I was gonna start doing that. I was thinking maybe just start doing that at this point. presupposes parceling the soil. Then take this.
Of the soil and scattering of the other means.
Full list of episodes. The next one was gonna be class, I think. Yeah, it was gonna be class, and then the next one was gonna be
This mode of production, feudalism, presupposes parceling of the soil and scattering of the other means of production. As it excludes the
and then we take these three, and then we make them all fall out of the screen, because that's how you do a very quick and easy, nice and cheese.
Poses parceling of the soil and scattering of the other means of production, as it excludes the concentration.
And then I'm just gonna have the other chunk come down as like a paragraph from the top. But yeah, I think it was gonna be class. Hey Ron. So, see ya, only row 555. I'm doing okay, Ron. Yeah, that makes sense, Muke. That makes sense. It makes sense as to that being the right order of things.
This mode of production, feudalism, presupposes parceling of the soil and scattering of the other means of production. As it excludes the concentration of these means of production, so also it excludes cooperation, division of labor within each separate process of production, the control over and the productive application of the forces of nature by society, and the free development of the social productive powers. It is compatible
So, social productive powers, when does that end? Trying to think.
The forces of nature by society, and the free development of the social productive powers. Only with a system of powers. It is compatible. It is compatible. The social productive powers. It is compatible only with a system of
Okay, so... Yeah, no, this jazz rocks. This jazz rules. It's Insane in the Rain. If you haven't heard of Insane in the Rain, you should definitely have heard of Insane in the Rain. If you like video games and jazz. Insane in the Rain music. I put it in chat, the channel name.
Powers. It is compatible only with a system of production and a society moving within narrow and more or less primitive bounds.
Okay, let's head out to the right.
Primitive bounds.
So its next thing is gonna come in from the left.
Narrow and more or less primitive bounds. To and more or less primitive bounds. To perpetuated would and more or less primitive bounds. To perpetuated would be, as Pecqueur rightly says, to decree universal mediocrity.
And both of these I'm going to have fade, a linear fade in 2 with the Marx.
He says to decree universal mediocrity. This mode of production, feudalism, primitive bounds. To perpetuated would be, as Pecqueur rightly says, to decree universal mediocrity. This mode of production, Feudalism presupposes parceling of the soil and scattering of the other means of production. As it excludes the concentration of these means of production, so also it excludes cooperation, division of labor within each separate process of production, the control over and the productive application of the forces of nature by society, and the free development of the social productive powers. It is compatible only with a system of production and a society moving within narrow and more or less primitive bounds. To perpetuate it would be, as Pecqueur rightly says, to decree universal mediocrity. This mode of production
On to composition 23. I had a bunch of viewers at one point. I didn't even notice.
Essentially then, the isolation...
That was just like that cutoff was like. Oh,
I didn't even notice.
really nice. Okay, so this sounds like N made sense.
Essentially then, the isolation of the means of production under feudalism left it stagnant, and unable to ever keep up with the advent of industrialization, forcing it to move aside to capitalism.
Okay, so isolation of the means of production under feudalism. We'll use the crown for feudalism. Just fuck it. The goods shorthand.
Essentially then, the isolation of the means of production under feudalism
Maybe then just after essentially then.
Essentially then, the isolation of the means of production under feudalism
I don't know why it's like suddenly gone for some reason. Like why it's like automatically gone.
Essentially then, the isolation of the means of production under feudalism left it stagnant. And unable to ever keep up with the advent
We're gonna have the factory come in below it.
and unable to ever keep up with the advent
Yeah, I'm alive. I am alive. It's very shock, yeah, it's a shock even to me. But yes, I am alive. Yeah, that's valid. Twitter sucks.
To ever keep up with the advent and unable to ever keep up with the advent of industrial.
That actually looks really good. Actually, I'm really shocked at how I did that. How old am I? I'm about to turn 21.
And unable to ever keep up with the advent of industrialization.
Yeah, I'm currently 20, about to turn 21. Is my audio picking this up? Currently 20, almost 21. In like 6 days.
And unable to ever keep up with the advent of industrialization. Move aside for capitalism. Forcing it to
Yeah, I make music. What's with the whole questions? I'm curious. Is that because you're looking at my Twitter, or? I do make music. I'm wondering what the questions are about.
Forcing it to move aside.
Are you looking at my Twitter, or?
Forcing it to move aside for capitalism. For capitalism. Essentially then,
I don't know how you figured out I make music then. Maybe I've mentioned it before, or I've used some of my own music, but like, I don't know. I do go to school for music. I go to school for music is the thing, so.
Essentially then, the isolation of the means of production under feudalism left it stagnant, and unable to ever keep up with the advent of industrialization, forcing it to move aside for capitalism. Essentially then,
That's another one done. It's 23 done. Let's see, if I get to 25, I'll be happy. If I get to 30, I'll be impressed.
But if feudalism
I don't specialize in a genre. I guess you could call my personal stuff indie, but like as a composer, I don't like stick to a genre.
But if feudalism had private property distributed across the whole population, while capitalism had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get from one to the other?
What does it sound like? I don't know how to describe it. It's like, avant-garde-ish, pop-ish, jazz-ish, synth-ish, funk-ish. Kind of dance punk-ish.
But if feudalism had private property distributed across the whole population, or
I'd be willing to show my music on stream sometime in the future, but like not like at the moment. I'm like right now I'm like currently grinding away at this project. But I would be willing to showcase my music at some point on stream in the future.
while capitalism had it
I sometimes post some of it to my Twitter, but only clips and like previews, because I never have released anything. I do have a Bandcamp. It's not public because I don't have anything on there. And it's not under the name An Actual Joke. Because I would not release music under the name An Actual Joke.
But if feudalism had private property distributed across the whole population, or capitalism had it centralized into the hands of
capitalist minorities, so I can just use that hand. And then I can put the what artists do I listen to that's kind of noticeable? Talking Heads, Saint Vincent, LCD Sound System, Miles Davis, like Bitches Brew sort of thing.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
It's like really close.
Right down there. Right? You're not clicking.
Smash that like button!
Oh no. No, do not crash. Okay. Thank God. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones that would influence me. It's tough to say.
While capitalism had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get from one?
Okay, this is more than just guesses. You've clearly watched one of my Q&As or something, or read my Twitter or something.
Into the hands of the capitalist minority. Into the hands of the capitalist minority. While capitalism had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get?
But yeah, it's more than a guess. That's you clearly know more about me than you're letting on. Okay. I guess lucky guesses then. Very lucky guesses. Like, just suspiciously lucky guesses is all.
But if feudalism had private property distributed across the whole population, while capitalism had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get from one to the other?
That one's one, that one's the other.
How did we ever get from one to the other?
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's okay. It's better to have people actually chatting than no one chatting at all, so you're fine.
This minority, how did we ever get from one to the other? But if feudalism had
Because honestly, people chatting keeps me honestly on task because it reminds me
But
that
if feudalism
I
had
have to be
private
on top
property
of my shit.
distributed across the whole population, while capitalism had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get from one to the other?
Okay, I can have this a little more over to the right.
Had it centralized into the hands of the capitalist minority, how did we ever get from one to the other? But if feudalism
So yeah. I might end stream after this next one. Because it's been like an hour and I got a lot done this stream. Like I'm saying like over a minute's worth of the content done, which is like a lot in a day.
the process of transforming individualized and scattered means of production
Hello,
into
Jen.
socially concentrated ones.
Welcome to the stream. It's very, very boring because this is just me editing back and forth over and over again. I should save. And then after this one, yes. White Euro Repellent, yes. I do have friends who also make experimental music.
The process of transforming individualized and scattered means of production into socially concentrated ones, such that the full potential.
I actually am getting really tired. Like, extremely worn out. Because, like, I just did a lot of brain processing. Like, let me go through how much I've done today. That's 10 seconds plus 13 seconds plus another 40 seconds, so that's 53. A minute 11. So I've already done a minute 11 today of like this like 10-minute, 11-minute project. I might come back to stream later in the night when I get some recharge, like maybe a couple hours from now. But right now I gotta take a break, so I'm gonna see y'all later. Hopefully I will see some of you in another stream. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around, all of you who did.